Good morning. My name is Doug Waterer, formerly the Vegetable Crop Specialist in the Department of Plant Sciences at the University of Saskatchewan. Now working in private practice as a crop consultant, trying to work with the vegetable growers of Saskatchewan, help them out in whatever way I can. One of the crops that I have a lot of experience with and have been very enthusiastic since the day I moved to Saskatchewan is garlic. Garlic is a great crop to grow in Saskatchewan. It does beautifully well and tremendous demand for garlic in Saskatchewan. We just simply can't grow enough to meet local demand. But it's a crop that comes with some challenges, and that's really what this project is all about, is to try to address some of the challenges that growers have identified. One of the biggest challenges is what is the right variety of garlic to grow? There are so many varieties and each of them have strengths. But unfortunately with those strengths, they often come with a couple of weaknesses. So what we're looking for is a garlic that gets through our winters well. So almost all the garlic in Saskatchewan is planted in the fall, so it has to be able to tolerate our quite difficult winters. We want something that survives the winter, comes up fast in the spring, produces a large plant, a healthy plant. We also want something that when it does start to yield, it yields a good looking large head that has the right number of cloves in it, and that one is one of those things that's a matter of personal taste and debate, and also something that has a good garlic flavor. And again, what does good garlic flavor represent? Well, welcome to one of the challenges. So what this particular trial is about is us looking at about 20 different varieties of garlic and looking at those attributes. So how well does it overwinter? How well does it come up in the spring? Can it tolerate weed competition? Does it get any diseases? When does it mature? And when it does mature, what do we get out of it? We get something large. Does it have 5 cloves in a head or 15 cloves in a head? There are different varieties. That's a strongly genetically linked trait, is the number of cloves per head. And we're looking for something that meets the demands of your particular marketplace. This particular project we've been doing now for, I think we're close to 5 years. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. Some years are better than others. Last year was a total wipeout. The wireworms got into the project and basically ate all the garlic. Particularly, they damaged it when it was planted in the fall. There was very little else for the wireworms to eat in the field except for this lovely freshly planted garlic, and they basically finished the crop off. This year you can see that the garlic is doing really quite well. It's been kind of a cool, moist season, which is exactly what garlic likes. And we are hoping for some good yields, some good quality, etc. It's not without challenges. You can see if you look behind me or at some of the footage, you can see that some varieties are growing better than others. And that's the type of information we're very much interested in collecting in this trial. It's a little bit early to tell which variety is going to come out the top, but now based on 5 years worth of trialing, we have identified one variety that seems, it's never the best necessarily, but it always is pretty good, and that's the good old variety called Music. It's one of the most widely grown varieties, and this particular trial has demonstrated why it is such a popular variety. It's a proven performer. It yields well in hot years, it yields well in cool years, it gets through tough winters, looks good, decent size on the head, so just generally a proven performer. And one of the things that's very important about Music is you can actually find planting material of that variety, and that is one of the major challenges of being a garlic grower. Simply, where do you get your planting material from? Where do you buy quality material from? And without spending a fortune to do it. One of the other things that's going to be quite challenging about growing garlic is weed control. Up until a couple of years back, it was really quite difficult to find herbicides that would work in garlic. So growers largely relied on tillage. Unfortunately, tillage, you get close to a garlic plant, it's got very shallow, superficial roots, and a hoe does all kinds of damage in there. So that was challenging. There is, though, a herbicide that has just been approved 2 years back for use in garlic, and that's called Chateau or Volterra. Does an excellent job. So you can see behind me or all around me, there are very, very few weeds in this plot, and really I've spent next to no time weeding in here. So this herbicide picks up both the grassy and the broadleaf weeds. It's applied before the garlic comes up, so that's a key thing. Do not apply this product if the garlic is up. But if it's put on in a timely manner, we've been very impressed. Not only does it control the weeds, it seems to control them for extended periods. So this product was applied last fall and again in the subsequent spring. And you can see that we're looking mid-July and there's still next to no weed growth in this particular plot. So it can do a very, very good job. Still learning a little bit about it. One of the things we are a little bit concerned about is there's some indication that there might be some varietal differences in terms of their tolerance of this herbicide. So stay tuned for the results of this particular project in terms of the report on that. But as it stands in general, you can see that it's doing a really good job. And again, music seems to tolerate it very, very well. On this side of me, I'm not sure whether Kara can get the camera onto it, is a trial where what we're looking at doing is trying to establish garlic using bulbils. So that's the little, what are we going to call it? Propagation units that will grow up on the top of garlic. So those of you that know garlic, you know that that's the garlic flower. That will actually produce not a true seed, but it's called a bulbil. You can actually take those and plant them, and you will get, if you're lucky at least, a garlic plant. It won't be a large plant, but if you take the resulting material and plant that, use that as your planting material the next year, you will get a whole crop of full-size garlic. So what it means is you can use basically what was a waste product to instead establish your next year's crop without having to go out and buy very, very expensive planting material. You can see that in this particular case, the stand is not fantastic. It is not an easy process to do to achieve a good stand of garlic using bulbils. But again, if you'll see on the outside, the best looking stand happens to be the variety music. So there's 3 plugs for music there. So at the end, come September or so, we will be putting together the results of this particular trial, and we'll make sure that we get that information published for those of you that are interested in growing garlic, either as a commercial opportunity or simply in your backyard garden. Saskatchewan is a great place to grow garlic.